Alright guys, here we are. Take 2, take 10. We're going to learn about how Midibox works with drum tracks. Useful for programming percussion, any sounds that you just need one note to trigger. If you have multiple of those sounds, so for example I have a drum synthesizer over here with 4 voices, and each voice triggers on a separate note. So a drum track in the Midibox is perfect for that. So let's set one up and get going here. So I'm going to choose track 1 here, group 1, track 1. I'm going to menu event, and I'm going to change the type to drum. Notice there's different amounts of drum layers and parameter and trigger layers as well. There's a couple different versions in here depending on your needs of parameter layers or trigger layers. For me, I'm just going to stick with the basic one here. I'm going to hold initiate, and there we go. My machine is on output 2, so we're set there. Back to edit. Now here we are. So we're currently in track mode where the 16 buttons on the bottom select different tracks. We want to, in this track, be able to select the 16 different rows or drums. So you go to instrument here, and now the bottom buttons control the different access to your different rows within this one track. So for instance, we set a bass drum on track 1, and you can trigger the bass drum wherever you need to. Okay, now my particular synth, the initialized notes that get triggered per track don't match up with my particular synthesizer. So go to menu event one more time, and here in event you can set what each row triggers note wise. So for me, the first row, which they call bass drum, we're going to go to C0, and the next one they call snare, I'm going to go to D0. Did I go too far? There we go. What am I doing? D0. And the third one I'm going to go to E0. C, D, E, F, G, E is next, and then finally F0 for my fourth. My synth only has 4, so this is going to be that. So now I set those rows to the particular note that they're going to send out. Alright, back to edit. So here we are. 1, 2, 3, 4 for me. So let's hit start, and let's trigger, say, a bass drum kind of sound. There we go. Reverb on that. Reverb. Here we go. Set some basic drums here. Not too loud, hopefully. Keep the volume a little lower for us here. And we can add in another sound and some hi-hats maybe. Always nice. I've got a little riser kind of sound here. I don't know. Yeah, oh yeah, what? And finally, snare kind of sound, so clappy snare. And anytime you can go to any of these tracks and move stuff around and copy. So something that's fun to do is you hold scroll, and you can turn a dial here. The leftmost one will allow you to shift all the notes, and you can move things around in this particular track. The drums, the bass drum in that case, we can hold scroll and just shift these 2 over if we want, using this sound. So scroll is nice, easy to do. If you want to get a basic pattern going 16 and then quickly turn it to 32, boost, double the length. Just like in a note track, you hold copy paste, hit paste, and now it's gone to 32 steps. Notice the cursor is kind of lost. It's in the next set of steps. So if I press fast forward, yep. Step 1 through 16. Step 17 That's a cool way to just get the basic thing going and then multiply the length. Another nice way to work with the drum tracks, particularly percussion. I'll just clear this. So clear this track. If they have a Euclidean generator. Okay, so let me set this back to length of 16. So the Euclidean generator, hold edit, and Euclid generator allows you to put a certain number of pulses in a certain number of steps, and then you can offset the beginning point. So let's say we have 16 steps and you want 14, well, I guess kick drum, 4 would make more sense, and it fits them in as best it can, accents them. So for me, this is really, maybe not as much for bass drums, but something like a snare drum. It's pretty nice if we go to the snare drum track. And get some interesting patterns pretty easily, and then you can quickly shift them around like that. That's pretty cool, the Euclid generator. That's really it. I mean, there's tons of ways to, there's a beat repeat option like you would have in an MPC. If you have a keyboard MIDI input, you can hold down notes and it'll just do a beat repeat kind of thing. So essentially, drum tracks are like a regular track, except each row only spits out one note, one possible note, but you have 16 rows. So you could use this for setting chords. It's fun when you have toms and you want to do like a tom drum with different pitches. You can have a row for each pitch, and you can make some really nice patterns that way. So hope the video was good enough to whet your appetite a little bit on the old MIDI box. And be well. And maybe I'll see you for a third video at some point.